The more I'd make, the more she'd spend. Then she'd tell me with a grin,
brush it off, dear, it's all in your mind.
now in this hectic day and age, the man who earns a daily wage just hopes there'll be enough to go around. He works his fingers to the bone, trying to keep up with the Jones, and finds the Joneses are trying to keep up with the Browns. If this is the kind of trouble you have and the pressure is just about to blow a valve, if your temper's short and your friends think you're a grouch, if your tranquilizers taste kind of sour and you're slightly past the 11th hour, you need to spend some time on a doctor's couch. I had a job at $30 a day, and in my line of work I was drawing top pay, and you might say I was living within my means. Things were going fine, I couldn't ask for more, till my wife got jealous of our neighbor next door, and since there's been no jingle in my jeans. The more I'd make, the more she'd spend, then she'd tell me with a grin,
brush it off, dear, it's all in your mind.
It started out with a brand new car, and I told her then we was going too far, but next we got a color TV set. The furniture was wearing thin, so she moved it out and moved you in, and laughed and said I could cut out cigarettes. More I'd make, the more she'd spend, the bills just kept on pouring in. Instead of black, it was gray that I now comb. I tried to dodge every store, but that just brought them to my door, and then I took a second mortgage on my home. My ulcers had me a bending double from sweating out my money trouble. It's hard to live on nothing but milk and crackers. Came home one day and my wife was mad about the good luck our neighbor'd had. Her aunt had died and left her $1 million smackers. I was awfully glad to hear this news. I was tired of living on IOUs. Maybe now my wife would see we couldn't compete. But it seemed my hopes were all in vain. We needed a new place to entertain, so we bought that big new house across the street. The more I'd make, the more she'd spend, then she'd tell me with a grin,
brush it off, dear, it's all in your mind.
Things were going oh so far from good when she grew tired of this neighborhood. She had her eye on a swanky place uptown. I knew that I couldn't take it again, but she kept on planning on moving in, and while she broke me up, my nerves broke down. They put me away in a padded cell, and the doctor says that I'm doing quite well. My wife just can't wait to have me home again. But I'm not as crazy as she might think. They'll never find my missing link, 'cause I don't want to get out, I want to stay in. The more I'd make, the more she'd spend, then she'd tell me with a grin,
brush it off, dear, it's all in your mind.
The more I'd make, the more she'd spend, then she'd tell me with a grin, brush it off, dear, it's all in your mind.